What's going on, Duff Daddies and Duff Mamas? It is Tuesday, March 30th, and welcome back to another episode of the Duffin Up podcast. My name is Brendan Monroe, and as always, I'm sitting here with the one and only Michael Adams, even though there's a billion guys named Michael Adams. I realize that when I try and tag him in Facebook posts. But anyways, Michael Adams, how are you doing today?
Man, this is awesome. Number 4. Really looking forward to it. There are a lot of Michael Adamses out there. I will say that. Mad Dog, Michael Adams, a shooter from Boston College. But yeah,
Forgot about him.
Just a kid from Attleboro over here. Couple of chooches on a couple of podcasts. Number 4, let's ride.
Let's do it. And our third and final co-host of the evening, as always, we have the Irish Chooch himself, Timmy O'Reilly. Timmy, how you doing tonight?
I am not too shabby. Excited to be here. If you are listening in the car, if you are listening at the gym, if you are listening just working around the house, thank you for listening. Excited for tonight, boys. Let's get going. Here we go.
That is right. If you are listening on any podcast platform, we appreciate you. If you are watching the YouTube channel, you get to see 2 beautiful faces and one that's made for radio over here. We're going to get right into it, though, as we always do with the Dell Match Play Championship. And I got to tell you, boys, one of my not so favorites won this week. I don't know what to do, but Billy Horschel coming out here, beating hometown UT alum, Austin guy, well, born in Dallas, but Austin guy, Scottie Scheffler, beating him 2-1 in the finals. And I'll tell you what, it was a great week for golf. I loved having them play 7 rounds in 5 days. But boy, oh boy, that last, I know it was only 17, but that last 17 holes, it could have been better. Could have been better from the boys, but a great event. Really appreciated all those guys being able to, play the 60, play the opening rounds on 3 back-to-back days. And then also once the guys made it into the round of 16, playing, 2 rounds each day too. So we had a big win for Billy Horschel. It's his first win since, I believe, 2015, might have been 2016, but he's finally back in the winner's circle. Like I said, not a personal favorite, but Jimmy, what do you got on this one, man? It was a great week, and it was a really good showing for a couple of guys that we didn't expect to either.
First of all, definitely I'm with you on Billy Horschel. Not my favorite guy. I used to be a big Billy Horschel guy. He was a nice guy. I met him once, not met him, but he's one of those walking down TPC Boston, said hey to him. He was a great guy. He's like, hey, what's going on, man? But then just watching his mannerisms and everything like that, I don't want to, he kind of seemed, I don't know, he might have just been in the zone, but kind of seemed stiff. But watching his, before he shoots, before he hits his shot, he looks like he does like a little like batting stance thing. I don't know. He like, whether he hits a draw or a fade, he like, I don't know if you guys watch that. He lines up and like, I don't know, it looks like he's going to hit an ultra draw or an ultra fade.
Ultra draw. Yeah.
And then, but he was solid. I mean, he barely budged. I mean, he budged on the 2nd hole and budged on the 6th hole. But other than that, just absolutely rock solid. And I'm with you. I was rooting for Scottie. I was pulling for him, but man, oh man, did he not budge? And the best man won. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. Gator Nation, Billy Horschel. He's creeping up into Ryder Cup picture. I mean, he's up there. This is a big win for him. He's different though. Like you said, Tim, he's definitely a little stiff, and I'm sure he's not the warmest. Like if you watched him out there yesterday a little bit, there was one green he was walking off of, and he pointed at a group of guys, I think, and he was like, no, not you, the middle one. And he's not afraid to be a little bit over the top. And he really does do a lot of back and forth with his caddy, which is respectable. He really does. He's open and he takes feedback. He lets you know what he's thinking. And it's cool for the average listener and viewer, but I can certainly see why he rubs people the wrong way.
Good point, Mike, on the Ryder Cup. Because if he can pull it out in this match play, darn tootin', we want him on the U.S. team. If he can pull it out in match, if he's a good match play player, we want him on our Ryder Cup team.
Right.
Well, that's the thing. He had not been a good match play player until this. They said he lost like 3 or 4 like straight matches, like in match play before this event or something crazy like that. Like he had not been a good match play guy until this event, and like props to him for getting that monkey off the shoulder. But yeah, I mean, this is a little bit of like a Ryder Cup preview for that. I think Scottie Scheffler is probably going to be on the team now. I mean, he's 20, he's 24 going on 25. Like, dude's had an amazing rookie year, climbed in the world golf rankings by substantial amounts. Like, he'll probably be there. Billy Horschel will probably be there. I really hope Matt Kuchar's not going to be there, but he's probably
Coochie. Will be cool to see how Scheffler responds. I mean, like you said, Texas guy, home event, a lot of people there supporting him, and hasn't won yet, right, on tour, and he just couldn't get it done. So the Masters is coming up soon. Really good. Seems like a good kid. Kind of has a herky-jerky swing. Some of his drives, I'm like, no wonder why you're going way left. Like that swing isn't always fluid. It's not Louis Oosthuizen like we talked about last week, but
his swing is disgusting. Like his swing, like good for him, it works for him, but he literally, like, you know what I mean, when it's just you watch him and you're just like, this is good, but then he pulls himself back. Like he literally pulls himself back with his foot. It's like exactly what they tell you not to do. It's like, make sure your back foot is strong, make sure your back foot doesn't give out. And he's just like, no, it's given out. It is 100% given out, and it just goes. Like, it's great for him. But yeah, I agree. I have a buddy who legitimately does not like him because of his swing. Like, he texts me all throughout the weekend. He's like, duh, Scottie Scheffler swing, I can't stand it. I'm like, I don't really like it either, but he's a nice guy. Like, he seems like a really good guy and a good golfer, so I'll root for him.
Brendan, you were the first one to point that out to me. You mentioned that kind of back foot slide, and then I saw more of it this weekend. Just his finish on his drive looks, I don't know, it just doesn't look like he sticks it.
Oh, you're right. I mean, you're right. He does look like he's doing a little tap dance on the tee box. That's for damn sure. And if that, I will admit that my footing used to be brutal, and I was doing tap dance, and that's the one thing that on TikTok that people are like, man, you got to find a balance and plant those feet. And obviously, two different classes of players. So I'm not comparing myself to a professional golfer at all. But you're right. When you notice it, yeah, I mean, you're looking at all these professional golfers who have, practice swings and everything like that. And I mean, he finished second at the Dell Match Play, a World Golf Championship event. So obviously something's working, but you're right, Mike. He goes left a lot, and no wonder why he does.
Yeah. Hey, don't mind you comparing your swing against these guys. I mean, I'll kid you not. You're talking about footing. Like, I played a lot of golf last year, and there was one point where I wanted to start hitting it further, like off the tee, obviously with the drive. And I wanted to like really kind of feel the ground and like really all 10 toes and just kind of launch myself off the ground. I really focused on that. And I still, that is carried with me. And I don't know, obviously we stink compared to these guys, but it's all relative.
No. And I mean, it works for him. That's the thing. Just works for him. So you can't knock it. Like, yep. Finishing second, and here's the biggest thing, and I know we'll get into some of the other guys that made it through as well, but like his route to getting to the tournament itself, or not getting to the tournament, but going through, he had to beat, in the round of 16, he had to beat Ian Poulter. So huge Ryder Cup guy, enormous Ryder Cup guy right there. Like, that is public enemy number one for me forever in all of golf, but for a lot of people, public enemy number one in the Ryder Cup. Then he goes out and he beats John Rahm, big Ryder Cup guy. And he goes out and beats Matt Kuchar, who's been a pretty good, I mean, he going into that, I think he was 6-0-0 and is, besides the finals in the 2019 match play, Matt Kuchar hadn't lost in the Dell. Like, Matt Kuchar had won an enormous amount of match play events in the Dell match play. Like, he is up there for the most amount of wins in Dell match play history. So even getting there for Scottie Scheffler showed that he could do a little bit of match play here, and it was really impressive. And I was surprised by it. I was surprised about who made it, and we'll get into that a little bit more with the consolation prize, the consolation match of Matt Kuchar, Hoochie Coochie.
Your buddy.
Not not my favorite.
Your buddy.
And very surprising, 28-year-old Frenchman, Victor Perez, coming in 4th place. That was a shock. He came out of the group that was not the Dustin Johnson group, but he came out of the group that was Sungjae Im, Victor Perez, Mark Leishman, and Russell Henry. I had Sungjae Im like sharpied into that because I was like, I don't like Big Leash isn't that good. Like Henley's okay. And it's like, I've never heard of Victor Perez. Like I know he won the Dunhill on the European tour a couple, like I think last year, but like besides that, I had never really heard of him. And he just came out, beat Bobby McIntyre, beat Sergio Garcia, and, wound up going against Horschel and losing. But oh my goodness gracious, what a event for Victor Perez. Like this is enormous for him, not just for like Ryder Cup or anything, but just being able to get into the semifinals. Like he gets a ton of invites now to PGA events. Like he doesn't have to play on the European tour as much. Like that's a big deal for a 28-year-old guy just trying to, kind of grind out and being in this event and getting to the semifinals.
How great is David Faraday on the mic? I mean, he's electric. But he kind of made it seem like Perez, if he lost yesterday to Kuchar, that this wasn't a big deal. Like they kind of, I mean, I guess it's a 3rd place match. So, but again, it's not for first. You're obviously jacked up and want to win it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, he came in 4th. Great event for a 28-year-old, like you're saying, Brendan. So it's just funny how I loved listening to Faraday yesterday. He's a riot, and he kind of just
he's a monster.
And he gets away with a lot of stuff too. Like some of the stuff he says is like, "Ooh, are you allowed? Should you say that on TV?" But he gets away with it because of who he is and because he's got that great accent. I do like. I mean, there's might not be anyone better on. I mean, besides the Whisperer, but they're completely 2 different apples and oranges because there's color and then there's
so true.
The play-by-play.
So true.
Oh my God, no, Faraday is absolutely, because Faraday just no holds barred, just brutal honesty. Like that's always been his thing, so it's great. But yeah, he'll just go in and be like, well, that was an awful shot. Everyone's like, dude, it's 20 feet away from the hole. He should have done better from there. I'm like, okay, yep. David. Okay, Mr. Northern Irish Ryder Cup. Like, I know you've played once in a while. I know you were a very good golfer back in the day, but you know what? I don't think you can do what they're doing right now. So I'm not going to listen to you. But overall, great Final Four. I mean, winnings for the guys, 1.8 million for Billy, 1.1 million for Scottie. So that's a nice little paycheck for a 24-year-old who doesn't have to pay any state income tax down in Texas. That's good for him. Hoochie Coochie brings home $740K, and Victor Perez brings home $600,000, which might be the most, minus his 1 win over in Europe, which was a big, like the Dunhill's a very big event over in Europe. Like it's one of the big Rolex Series events. I think it's one of 4. I think the Irish Open's in it too. It's like Scottish Open, Irish Open, Dunhill, and I forget the other one. Might be like the Rolex Masters or something like that. But yeah, so besides that might be his biggest paycheck ever. So like, good for them. Getting FedEx Cup points is huge for them too, and most importantly, also getting that match play experience in case, we'll probably end up seeing. I think we'll see Scheffler at the Ryder Cup. I don't know about Billy Horschel. I don't know about Matthew Kuchar, but he'll probably be there as either a vice captain or he'll be playing. And then, Victor Perez is like a wild card, especially if Team Europe kind of just needs a younger gun who, coming out of nowhere, and, some of their guys aren't playing as well. Like he could be a huge name for them too.
True. That's a good point.
Really wonder what he's going to do with that $600K. I mean, what's the first thing that he's like, all right, damn, I'm buying this?
Probably like paying off his house he's got to give his caddy $60K. He's got to give his caddy 60 of that. So
what I mean? like one, if he had to splurge, just that's a lot of money.
Oh, I'm taking a private plane back to France, number one. So that's like 15 grand right there, like gone. But besides that, no, I totally agree with you guys. That is a lot of money. And I think we may, because the rankings are also based off World Golf Rankings. So we could definitely see him at the Masters. And I don't know how we would do in stroke play versus match play, but he looks like a guy who was just calm, cool, and collective out there, and really surprised me, to say the least. I mean, he beat Sergio. Like, I was shocked when he beat Sergio. I was like, that doesn't happen.
Sergio's kind of going. It was unbelievable.
Insane.
I mean, even on that, what the 12th hole, 13th hole, that par 4 over the water, the drivable one, he stuck it twice within 8 feet with a driver in hand. And the second time, they're like, there's no way he can do it again. And he does it. And as soon as he hits it, he goes, be good. And the announcers went ballistic. They're like, there's no way this is good. And it was, his ball strike. I mean, he has always been a great ball striker of the ball, but
takes the biggest divots.
Huge.
Big time divots.
Oh, he took a divot on the green.
No.
Yes, he did. He took a divot on the green. I forgot. He was doing a little chip, and as they're doing it, Faraday, of course, comes on, and he's like, well, the grounds crew must be shaking in their boots right here. And of course, he does a little chip on the green and takes a divot, and he just kind of like pats it down with his foot, and it goes about his way. That's the difference between pros and us. I would never do that.
Shades of Cameron Tringale at the 3M Open last year just was like 110 feet away on a green and chipped it, and he took a monster divot. And the guy said the same thing. He's like, the groundskeeper must be so mad right now.
Yep.
Lord knows I would be. Like, those are pristine, baby. But I think the best part about this event was, number one, just like we got to see a lot of different guys that we don't usually see. Andy Sullivan. I mean, Eric Van Rooyen plays a little bit over here, but not as much. And you got the two, you got Fratelli plays over here too. But, we got to see a lot of different guys that we don't always get to see because a lot of them do play on the European tour. And then we got so many upsets from the group stage. I mean, Robert McIntyre coming out of the group of Dustin Johnson, Kevin Na, him, and Aaron Long. Like, no one's picking that. No one's picking the little Scottish lefty over there. Kuchar's not. No one's thinking Kuchar's getting out of that group with Thomas Oosthuizen and Kevin Kisner. Like,
yeah,
Brian Harmon getting out of Cantlay, Matsuyama, and Carlos Ortiz was a bit surprising too. The highest seed that got into the round of 16 was John Rahm at 3. Everyone else, the next highest seed was Tommy Fleetwood at 21.
My man Tommy Fleetwood.
I know he had a great day. I wish he went a little bit farther, but I mean, Kevin Streelman 53 got through. Like, Streels, I love Streels. I thought Streels was going to go 0-0, and I thought Streels was going to go 0-3-0. Like, he's going up against Anser, Hovland, and Bern Wiesberger, who's like not great, but like I thought Streelman was going to lose to all those guys. So really interesting to be able to see a lot of different guys play really well. And then, having that final four of Horschel, Scheffler, Perez, and Kuchar, like, I don't think any of us even picked one of those guys.
No. I can't believe I don't want to pass over this man, the guy who hits from the wrong side of the ball, Brian Harmon. Did you guys see that? He had 8, but I was thinking you the whole time, Brendan. I'm like, oh, he must be going nuts. But on the match with Bubba Watson, he was like down 3, and then he makes 8 birdies in a row to go all the way to 1 up. I mean, Can you believe that? 8 birdies in a row. I mean, Bubba Watson, I mean, he just ran into a buzzsaw. Nothing he can do about that.
I know, lefty on lefty crime right there. But they did say, they were like, if this was stroke play, like if this was a stroke play tournament, Brian Harmon would have won, and he would have won going away with it, because he had like the first 3 days, he was like, didn't miss, like would have been by far and away, like would have won. They said he probably would have won by like 8 shots, like no doubt about it.
Yep.
So really happy for him. I know he's playing down here in a couple weeks, so that'll be really great to see him. I got to like meet him the last time we went to the tournament, so that was cool. But being able to see all the different guys that were able to make it through the group stage, which none of us thought were going to. So it was really good to see those guys being able to kind of get through as well. And then, with this tournament, the good news about match play is that you get to see guys kind of go head to head. But the even better news about match play is that half the time they just have big mishits because they just don't care. Like they're trying to just like crush it. So we have some more official Duff Daddies coming into play this week.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, did we have some Duff Daddies. The first Duff Daddy we talked about on the last podcast, but our boy Lonzo Griffin with that chip on 18, all square against Cameron Smith. He was two up with 3 to play. Ended up losing the match, 1 up to Cameron Smith, and it was, his chip just went like 3 feet and rolled back down. Oh. It was horrible. That's a terrible way to start too. That was his first match. That was awful.
How did he do the rest of the way?
I actually don't even think he won an event. Let me check.
Oh, that's a tough
I don't even think he won. Yeah, unfortunately, they don't give the scores on like the bracket, so that's unfortunate. But yeah, so Lonzo was one of our 4 who unfortunately just didn't have a good time. So, it happens. Our second Duff Daddy, Bryson, Mr. DeChambeau, hitting a 45-yard drive on a practice putting green.
I mean, that's the risk you take when you swing as hard as you do. Obviously, there's a lot. It's his whole game is risk reward, and he has calculated this risk reward, and the risk came back to bite him just on one hole. But yeah, I mean, it comes back to bite him often, and I mean, it's a risk reward, high reward.
He says he can do it. He says I can drive it over the trees and land it on the green, and he's confident. And how about him going on and winning the next 3 out of 4 holes, I believe, to win? I mean, he did that. He must have lost that hole, right?
I feel like if I did that, I would just concede the hole and move on. Literally, I think I would just be like, nope, we're not going to play this one. Like, let's pick it up. Like, especially if you went second and the first guy, like not even in the fairway, but just like, 300 yards ahead of you, like even in the rough, like you got to get it to there. Then you got to get, like, you're already on your 3rd shot by the time he's taking his 2nd. But no,
you don't though. You don't though, because you see Horschel and Scottie went in the water, right? And then he had to hit one up, and he had a putt to like tie the hole, or maybe even win the hole. I forget.
He had a putt to win the hole. So he went into the grandstands.
After he went into, it was after he already had to pick one up.
Yeah. Well, you don't get a penalty for going into the grandstands, which is hilarious. And I mean, they're never going to change that rule, but it would be really funny if they made you drop in the absolute worst. I saw Jason Sobel say that on Twitter, just like if you go into the grandstands, they should grow one specific spot out in the rough and make that the drop zone. So it is the absolute worst thing that you can hit out of.
Cool. They were using that grandstand on the back of 12 or 13 as like the green monster. Just kind of,
yeah. There's an event on the LPGA tour that kind of does the same thing. The Dinah Shore, I forget, the Inspiration that was started by Dinah Shore back in the day. Like they have like one of those things where it just like covers the entire green, so the girls literally just hit into it because it's a par 5. So they're like, hey, if we go over, like we get that free drop, and we're still on, and we're right next to the green in 2, so then we can do a nice little eagle chip. Like it's insane.
That drew a lot of skepticism. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I think, because they've done it now, I think for a couple years, and like the girls just like, you got Brooke Anderson out there, who can hit it 1,000 miles farther than I can. And she just right into it. Oh, kind of cool, interesting, but definitely a little way to finagle the rules.
Do that again.
Oh man, but yeah, it was really good to see those two Duff Daddies. Now we got two more Duff Daddies coming in. We got not my favorite, but he's officially one of the Duff Daddies, Hoochie Coochie. Not once, but twice having to hit out of the woods. One time, left-handed, had to flip his club over. Did like a nice little splink, and it went absolutely nowhere. Like just got out of the woods. How he finished in third place? Like he would have been cut so bad in a regular tournament this week, but because it was match play, he could just concede the hole and move on. Like, that's the one part that we'll talk about that a little bit later too. But Hoochie Coochie hitting that shot, and Billy Horschel, how about that? Almost hitting, took a little long iron and almost hit Victor Perez as he pulled the living daylights out of it. He's yelling at himself after, and it just like skirts right by Victor Perez's caddy. It was hilarious. Like, and that dude won. That dude ended up winning the tournament.
He won. And that's the beauty of match play. You hit the nail on the head back in the beginning of the segment. You said you can just trounce an absolutely brutal shot, and then it's just one hole. Whether you make a 13 on the hole or whether you make a 2 on the hole, next hole, it's beautiful. But just adds a whole other element to just a change element to tournament play.
Mikey, any thoughts?
No, man. I mean, I love the Duff Daddy crew. They should feel honored to be indicted into our prestigious group. I mean,
they've not been indicted. They've been inducted. We will not indict anyone into the group. That would be bad. We don't have any legal power.
No, but these guys are making just casual plays, just duffs that us regular people make every day. And it's good to see it on the PGA Tour because it really gives them a slice of their own humble pie. But these guys bounce back, which is really impressive.
It's crazy. I would melt. I would melt away if I hit a 45-yard drive onto a practice putting green. Like, I think I'd just like pick up the ball and give myself an 8, just move on.
Happens all the time. I mean, I can just remember holes where you hit a bad one and one after another, and it's golf is the hardest game to get out of that little mental rut. Like, it's real, like free throws in basketball, like, I don't know, hitting a baseball. I feel like golf is just mentally, it's unbelievable how if you make a mistake, if you swing and miss in baseball, you go up the next time and you try and crank that thing. But in golf, that thing eats at you for some reason.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of mental angst, the event that happened between Dustin Johnson and Kevin Na, you want to talk about little mental angst. DJ hitting that putt and coming like inches away. And then Kevin Na like not conceding it, but DJ just, when DJ just took it away, thinking like, this is obviously going to be conceded, and Kevin Na hadn't said anything yet, starts to walk away. Kevin Na calls him back to the green and is like, dude, you can't do that. Like, you got to wait for me to concede it. And it got like heated between those two guys. Like, that was a little weird. And like, as a DJ guy, like, I know he's in the wrong, but at the same time, I know Kevin Na kind of overreacted, but it was a lot.
Did DJ say he heard? Did he say he heard or thought he heard him, Kevin Na, say pick it up?
Yes, and that was a huge factor as to the ruling too, because DJ picked up his ball. Like, for those of you who don't know, DJ picked up his ball before Kevin Na said anything. Kevin Na said he did not say that's good, but DJ thought it was windy and everything like that. DJ said he thought he heard Kevin Na say that's good, and that was huge because in the rules it states that if DJ picked up and he did not hear the opponent say that's good, if he had just picked it up and without, just be out of frustration without the opponent saying that's good, then they both would have been disqualified. So because DJ, and you have to go on the honesty of golfers. I mean, it's a gentleman's game. You have to go on honesty. Because DJ said he heard that Kevin said that's good, then they can discuss it in front of the rules committee, and they can you can either go back and place the ball, and then Kevin Na would have to say that's good, or you can just discuss it there and say, yeah, he would have given that to him. But so yeah, there was a key point that DJ said he thought he heard, and so
that's where golf needs to wake up a little bit. It's like it's such a little insignificant like act. The guy would have given him the putt. I don't know why Kevin Na didn't say it like right when he missed it. Like that's just say it like good, like quick. Just I don't know where the confusion was there. Kevin Na isn't in any. He's not in the clear in my eyes, but that's where it's such a little like to get disqualified. Imagine if this was. Imagine if they got disqualified. You never know where it could have went. But
I mean, it kind of brings back to Oakmont when DJ won, and thank God he won by, what was it, 6 strokes or 5 strokes, because he got that 4-shot penalty. He got that 4-shot penalty for signing the wrong scorecard, like signing an incorrect scorecard and like grounding a club. Like, you know what I mean? Like he, when he won at Oakmont, like thank God he won by that much, because it ended up kind of biting him in the ass. So yeah, there's definitely a couple things. Was Kevin Na correct? Yes. Like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. It's a rule that stinks, but the rule as it states now, Kevin Na, and it is a gentleman's game. You are playing one person. I mean, if I was playing a league, there are stiffs that'll be like, no. But this is, there's a lot of money on the line. So just wait until he says that's good. Mm-hmm. I'm not that guy who would call it on my opponent. And it's obviously Kevin Na said, I would have called it. That's good. I would have given it to you for sure. But it's the rules committee that would be like, oh, you didn't call that's good. So you're disqualified. And
exactly.
It should be an opponent to opponent basis. But if the rules committee catches wind of it, then all hell breaks loose and huge penalties get assessed and everything like that. So the rule needs to change, that it needs to be just between the two guys. That's my opinion. And, but Kevin Na, under all the circumstances and all the things that were on the line, I believe he was correct.
Yeah. And that's just one of the kind of quirks of match play, which, speaking of the quirks of match play, and another amazing segue by Brendan James Monroe. There was so much talk this week about how there should be more match play, and we even discussed it a little bit. And then Sunday came around, and that talk got a little quieter. It got a lot quieter. Like, you heard on Friday night, they were like, match play needs to be in the like there should be a major with the match play. There should be this with match play. There should be that with match play. And you watched like how tired the guys were on Sunday and how like kind of not great at golf the final was. And you're just sitting there and you're just like, okay, now I know why match play is for one event. Like now I know, like it's a grind, it's a struggle. But like, hey, great for them, happy for them. But now I know why we don't talk about match play as much anymore.
So true, Brendan. Yeah, you don't have as many guys out there, right, on Sunday in big moments. That's one thing. You don't have guys charging up leaderboards or, just the more the merrier. But yeah, match play. I agree. We kind of had the podcast last week where we were all like, why don't we do this more? But after you really do look at it, it's perfect the way it's set up. Like majors are meant to be just, there's a cut, you got to make the cut, and then you got to be the lowest score. And then you get your Ryder Cup events and your President Cup events. And I do think it's set up really well. Yeah, Tim, take it away.
Bingo. Bingo. If we had more match play events, it would dilute the these, I don't know, the uniqueness of these tournaments, the uniqueness of the riders, the presidents, and this one event, and the what'd you say, the Zozo, it would definitely dilute it and make them not as special. So let's keep it. You're right, Mike. There's a method to their madness. However they set this schedule up, and I think I'm good with match play for the year until the Ryder Cup. I don't know about you guys.
And isn't the FedEx Cup standings thing so cool? Like, isn't that just a really cool way to do it?
Oh, and I love what they have on the screen, and they're like, if they finished where they are right now, it'll show you where they're going to finish in the FedEx. I mean, how do they calculate that? But however they do it, it is cool. It really is.
No, it's great. And that's the thing is, like, Colin Morikawa doesn't win the PGA last year if it's a match play event. And like everyone, and like the biggest thing was people were saying if anything went to a match play, it should be the PGA. Colin Morikawa was in like the third to last group, the fourth to last group. Like he would have been out in the quarterfinals. I want to see the best golfers play well or to see an absolutely catastrophic meltdown. Like I don't want,
Amen.
I want JB Holmes out there shooting 87 on the last day of a major tournament in the final group. I don't want just to see two guys playing all day. I want that whole experience. And that is why match play is perfect for a world golf event, for a world golf event, World Golf Challenge event. There we go. WGC event. Tongue-tied right there. We're going to cut that. I mean, we don't cut anything one take. Everyone knows the rules.
We're one take. Everyone knows the rules.
But it is perfect for a WGC event because it is a limited field. It is only usually the top 65 to 70 golfers. There's no cuts. Everyone gets paid a boatload of cash. Like if you want to do this for events like this or events like, you know, if you want to do the Tournament of Champions in Maui, like stuff like that, I'm cool with. But major championships, I want Brian Harmon out there winning that goddamn thing because he was the best golfer this week. Like actually on stroke play.
4 days of good golf. That's what it takes to win a golf tournament.
Yes.
You can show up and play great on day one in a match play. You can play terrible on day two. You can play terrible on day three, but you can still squeak by and win the golf tournament. 4 days of golf.
Every stroke counts. Every
single stroke. Yep, Mike. Absolutely.
And Brian Harmon would have won this event because he even only lost to Matt Kuchar 2-1. Oh, on the fourth day.
Does it hurt that much more that it was against Matt?
Yeah, it really does. Like Hoochie Coochie, like, nah, dude, come on, man. And Hoochie Coochie, he had the stupid like shot out of the woods again that, you know, it wasn't like the lefty one, but it just like literally went over the green and into another hazard. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, are we serious right now? This guy's going to win. Come on. But we digress. Amazing event. Super happy about this. Super happy about the event. Again, big fan of the match play, but very limited quantity match play. It deserves its spot in the spotlight, but no, we're going to keep it to a couple events a year. And, you know, just kind of moving on and going into, you know, we just want to kind of touch on this a little bit too, with the alternate event with Corales Puntacana. Joel Dahmen ended up winning the event, and it's a very emotional win for him. You know, one of the biggest fan favorites on tour, diagnosed with testicular cancer in 2011, obviously recovered from it, spent so many years on all of these mini tours, whether it was Corn Ferry or even below it, playing South Florida tour. I think he played the Outlaw Tour out in Arizona a couple times, like all these different events, and finally getting into the PGA tour 5 years ago and really grinding it out and playing well and finally getting his first win, an amazing win for him.
Grinding. You are absolutely right. He's one of those, the epitome of grinding from the bottom to the top through AA, AAA, and yes, baseball reference. I'm a baseball guy. AAA, AA, moving on up to the majors. And I loved, did you guys see him at all? I loved his bucket hat. He was rocking that bucket hat.
Well, he crushes it because he does it for I think Sandy Lyle, I think, was the guy who passed away from cancer. A couple of he wears it like in honor of him. I'm not sure if it was Sandy Lyle or someone else. I'll look that up real quick.
And the only reason
Probably
I
not
know,
Sandy Lyle. Nope,
the
Sandy
only reason I
Lyle's
know
still
it-
very much alive.
Sorry, Sandy Lyle, if you're listening, we're not.
Sorry about that, Sandy Lyle.
We're not talking it into fruition or anything like that. Oh, shit. But the only reason I really know about Joel Dahmen is because of another podcast video. But he seems like a very down to earth guy. He jokes around. He's more in it for just some fun, especially when he's out with just regular guys golfing. He's not like I don't know. He's not pretentious or anything like that, which is cool to see. And you're right. He was emotional at the end, and rightfully so. I mean, cool win, and good for Joel.
His caddy is his best friend from growing up. They call themselves like golf dorks. Like, he's super funny. I've watched all those videos with him online, like a couple of him just going through the Corn Ferry Tour from back in the day. Like, honestly, just seems like a really down to earth guy and seems like a really good dude.
Gotta love those feel good stories. That sounds wonderful, honestly. And does he get a bid at the Masters with that win?
That I don't know. I know he gets 2 years on the PGA Tour, but I know he gets 2 years on the PGA Tour into the PGA.
That's
I don't know about the other majors. Maybe. I think he might be ranked enough already. I think he was already qualified for the Masters anyways. He's a good golfer.
Yeah.
He just isn't top 64, so that's why he didn't make it to the. But I could definitely see him in the Masters tournament now, and I know he's playing this week as well too. So if he wins at the Valero Texas Open, he's definitely in.
I just looked this up. So the 33-year-old Dahmen finished at 12 under. He didn't get into the Masters with the victory because the tournament was played opposite of the WGC match play event in Texas. Unfortunately.
Oh, boo!
Which answers our Ricky
fly on that one.
Yeah, it answers our Ricky Fowler question last week.
So Ricky's got to win this week now. Great. All right, we're rooting for you, BDR. With every good story though comes with a little bit of heartbreak because Rafael Campos finished second place. He actually had a birdie putt to tie Joel Dahmen on the last hole, and it lipped out.
Little
lip, and it was it was brutal. It was legitimately brutal, and this is a guy too, 32 years of age, Puerto Rican descent. We don't see that many, Puerto Rican guys out on the PGA Tour right now. But T2 at the Corales Puntacana, T3 at the Puerto Rican Open. My man absolutely loves his alternative events. And it does kind of stink for him that he had to lose that. I know he, after reading up on everything, he was the fan favorite down in the Dominican Republic. And Joel Dahmen was not, which is pretty much the polar opposite of what usually Joel Dahmen is as a fan favorite. But overall, kind of, little rough event for him, but I'm sure we'll see a little bit more Rafa Campos coming through because, guy who does this well already has 2 top 10s. He'll be in the mix for sure this year again, probably sooner or later. So now we move on to our newest and latest segment. We are calling this Bogeys for the Boys and Girls, but Bogeys for the Boys, brought to you by absolutely no one because we don't have sponsors yet. If you want to sponsor us, please reach out to Brendan at brendan.james.monroe@gmail.com or brendan.monroe@duffinup.com, and we will get right to you, and we will basically tell you to pay us $1 for a sponsorship.
$1.
Okay. That's all we need. $1. Gotta pay the rent around here sometimes. But this new segment, Bogeys for the Boys and Girls, but Bogeys for the Boys, we will talk about our golf games, and we will be able to talk about if we played this week. We know I am in South Carolina right now, but originally from up north. We'll be back up north in May. We do love going out and playing. As some of you may know, I caddy for Mike once in a while when he plays in tournament events, and he just yells at me, but we don't have to go on about that. He'll deny it, which he is doing right now. Look at that face.
Brendan,
big shake of the head.
You make me out to be this angry individual. I mean, I'm pretty mild-mannered on the golf course. I appreciate all your hard work on the bag, and you've only caddied for me once, maybe twice.
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 Yeah, both times
Bet-
we didn't make it. Both
That's
times we
on
missed
me.
out on the Attleboro Open. It's okay.
Hey, back to it this year. Back to it.
I know. I got to take the days off. But we're going to talk a little bit about how we've been playing, and we're going to talk about a little bit on, just kind of the overall game, how we've been doing so far. So I don't know if you guys are able to play this week at all.
Well, Brendan, I saw your TikTok that you got out and in a sweet shirt, by the way. That was awesome. And that is a classy shirt right there, with the subtle Adidas signs logo printed all over it. But anyway, so I was curious. I want to know how you did, and I want, and whether it was good or bad. We're all about progress, and and I'm sure people will want to know like who they're listening to and where our games are. So how'd you play?
Exactly. Not great.
That'll be most of our answers.
Yes. No, it was fine. It was a new course for me. It was my parents' friends actually live over right off island. So we played at their course that they belong to. It was a great opportunity, great experience. It's only the second time I've ever played it, and I hadn't played it in like 2 or 3 years. So I was, basically a new course right from scratch. The drive wasn't where I wanted it to be for a couple of the holes. And then of course, when you get there and you hit it and you hit a great drive, then you mess it up, some other way. So I shot 93. I'm usually a little bit better than that. I like to keep it under 90 if I can. That Adidas shirt is fantastic. I do agree. Adidas, if you want to sponsor us, please do. But I do like my Adidas gear out there. I look nice a lot of the times. Playing nice is a little different. We're going to continue to work on that side, but at least I look good in the Adidas gear, so that's all that matters.
It's early.
It is.
I know you've been playing, but we can call it early.
Yeah, Brendan, I don't know if you can call it early.
I can. I think I'm in mid swing right now, and that's not good. I think my game is actually decreasing, which is also not good. But hey, it happens. We'll keep going. We'll keep getting better. That's all that really matters.
That is all that matters. And
how about you guys? Were you guys able to get out this week at all?
Mikey, you just swing the club?
No, I haven't swung on a course and kept track of my score since Thanksgiving weekend. I've been out like walking with my fiance, just with a club and a ball, hitting around Stony Lee as we walk and try and lose calories and make many steps across large areas and track it on our devices and compete against one another. But no, having hit the driving range twice, hit it pretty good. I mean, my back is screaming at me as I try and hit drives above the net yonder, 300 yards or so away. But I do want to make a statement though. I have something to gripe about. So I'm reaching out to places and I'm trying to inquire about memberships. It's getting that time of year. There's local places that are affordable, and I don't want to necessarily hop around like I usually do. So, I reach out to people, like maybe 33% of the people get back to you, like, and share pricing. And if they do, it's not like they reach out again and they're like, oh, how are you interested? Can we do anything to help you out? Like, and the other 67%, like, they just don't answer. And it's craziness to me that you're a New England golf course and you rely on memberships, and it's just about that time of year and you get an email and a voicemail. And I know the voicemails, some of these pros are leaving and moving and shopping, and these pros on the voicemail aren't the pros that are actually at the golf course. So like their voicemail systems aren't even updated. So I'm going on a rant here, but return my emails and give me a couple offers and show me a place where I can roll some putts, like, with no problem, and I'll throw you money. So
rants away. Wake
up, golf course managers in southeastern Massachusetts, Rhode Island.
That's a well put. It seems like a an easy equation. I offer you money, you take money, I play golf. And
bang, business. Like
Boom.
that service that you keep mowing and sticking holes in the ground and putting tee boxes and paying people to make look beautiful. Like, I'm looking to play there. Like, just reach back out to me, friends.
Come on, give me that young member rate. Come on, we got this. That's all we need.
29. I'm sitting on the cusp of a lot of these memberships.
I know they usually cut off right around 33, 34. So you got a couple of years though. Don't worry. You got it. I believe in you.
Oh man. And the key is you got to find a place with a full range.
Full range. Yeah. That's
yep. Where my parents belong up north, no range. Kentucky Country Club, no range. No.
Ooh.
Highland Country Club, RIP, had the range, but only had 9 holes. Whereas Pawtucket, I know.
RIP Highland.
RIP Highland. What a spot.
Pawtucket's one of them. Pawtucket's one of them.
Pawtucket's full. I know that, which kind of sucks.
I think they opened membership back up, but.
Oh, did they?
I thought they did.
Maybe they did.
But obviously not if they haven't gotten back to me.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, Mike, like Rhode Island, true Rhode Island fashion, I'm gonna tell you something, Mike, that I can maybe help you get into Pawtucket because I know a guy. But no, she's actually a girl. It's someone I went to high school with. She might, but I didn't know you were looking at Pawtucket seriously. That's good to know. But you're right. Get back to Michael, everybody. Get back to him. He just wants to play some golf. Let him play golf, for God's sakes.
Seriously.
Jesus. You heard him. You could hear the whimper in his voice. My man just wants to play some golf. All he requires is an email and a price. Come on. Jesus Christ. So I did not play I played 9 holes like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. So I said it, I played bad the other day, but I did go to the range. It felt great. I've been working on this thing, which is I was watching how Kyle Berkshire swings, which is probably not the most productive thing to do, but just kind of rock. Yeah, it was screaming. But so I was getting more of a rock because he rocks and then he squares his hip, like basically puts his hips down range. So I like that. Right. So whatever, it was just a range session. I was hitting my long irons better than my short irons, which is weird. But the range sessions are boring to tell you about. But I have a question for you. Have you guys, this is baffling to me. Have you guys ever been on the range and you look left and you have people around you and then they leave and you look left and you look right and they leave like 10 balls? I cannot imagine that. I mean, it's Christmas to me. I mean, I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I mean, I'll hit those balls all day long.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, at courses, common. At ranges, no. Nope. I cannot believe they left those.
I mean, I don't know if they're just finishing on a spectacular shot that they've never hit a better shot before. And they're like, I got to end on that.
We're like seagulls. We get there and we're like, where are those extra balls at?
I know.
Very true. Very true.
I can't imagine that. You want to, no. And one other funny thing I want to tell you about the range is that, so I went with my girlfriend and I bought 3 large buckets. And I'll tell you why I bought 3 large buckets. Each bucket has 105 balls in it. I bought 1 bucket for myself and 2 buckets for her because she hits the ball at a rate of 2-to-1 to me.
How's her back?
She was limping to the car. She hit 200.
Oh, I can imagine.
Plus the bonus balls. Plus the bonus balls we got on the side too. On the
that's awesome though, Tim.
Oh my God. I can't imagine like hitting 200 balls and trying to get back to your car. Oh. Woo.
I hit him quick. Ask Brian. Shout out Timmy's brother, Brian. Went to the driving range with him during the lunch hour this week from work and just cranked him out there. But it was a lot of fun.
Did you go to the South? I heard the South Attleboro one's closing.
Yeah. Turned into people's
homes. Turned into development.
Tough.
RIP in peace.
Jeez. Just like Donna Ross's Metacomet in East Providence.
That went down too?
Yeah.
Going down.
Yeah, Metacomet's gone.
Done.
Yeah, I think there's well, probably not Ledgemont, Seekonk. That'll probably stay, but
trying to get
there's a good amount of places.
Too.
Ledgemont?
Yeah, trying to give him my money.
I don't know if anyone actually belongs there.
Your mom belonged there last year, right?
Oh, she never belonged there. Pawtucket.
No, I saw her over there at a
I
golf
used to
tournament.
caddy at Ledgemont back in the day.
She was at a golf tournament there last year.
Yeah, her friends one of her friends belonged there. But
Gotcha.
I just used to caddy there because it was fucking beautiful. Beautiful course. But yeah, it was a good time. Oh man. Gotta find a place up there. Gotta find a place. We'll figure it out. Tony Lee's calling our name again.
I just like hearing about your guys' golf game, within the week, It's a nice time to just see what the real choochers are doing rather than always talking about the good players. I like to relate to you guys for sure. And I'm sure people listening like to hear that we shot 105 or we shot a 75, and whether good or bad, they like to relate to us. And I like to relate to you guys.
Anyway. Oh yeah. Little rough around the edges sometimes though, but that's okay. But kind of going back, I wish we could talk about our stuff more. Maybe one day the listeners will actually want to hear about not just us playing, but like if we ever get some other people on the show as well. Maybe one day we'll talk to some real people, real golfers. Mikey's got to take a quick break real quick because I think he had to go run and get his charger, so he'll be back. Don't worry about that. But Timmy and I will continue into the Valero Texas Open this week. Mm-hmm. We'll be able to talk about our daily fantasy picks.
Yes.
We will not name the company that we use our daily fantasy picks for.
Nope.
Because we are all about sponsorship, and one day we will get sponsorship, but that's not today. and so we will go ahead and talk about our daily fantasy picks. So I know that we have had a little bit of a rotation going. So Tim, you went first last week, right?
I did. Yes.
Yes. And I believe Mike went first the week before. So I think it is my time to officially go ahead and pick give my lineup first.
Start us off with a bang. Let's hear it.
So we've got number 1, Abraham Answer.
Son of a bitch.
Abraham Answer.
Pro Answer podcast.
Yeah, he's my first pick.
Very Pro Answer podcast.
Let me down this past week, though.
Yeah, he had a little rough week.
He's not a
match play stuff. But from Texas, big Texas boy, went to Oklahoma, so a little bit different, but that's okay. I'm a big OU fan, Boomer Sooner, but went to Oklahoma from Texas, grew up in between Texas and Mexico. I believe he moved around a little bit, and really has been able to kind of get out there, having an unbelievable year last year in 2020, really putting his name on the map. 2019 was a great year for him too, but that's okay. We'll just continue on going for here. My second golfer at 9,500, Corey Connors.
Oh,
Corey Connors, the Canadian. Oh boy, are we 2 for 2?
2 for 2, baby. Here we go.
Oh boy, here we go.
But for a good reason.
I think we both know why. Yeah. So he won in 2019. He won the Texas Open in 2019. It wasn't played in 2020, so he won in 2019. And not just that, but he's had a pretty damn good year so far this year. Like he has had so far 5 top 10s and has made 11 out of 14 cuts. Like the dude has had 2 straight top 10s, 3rd at the Arnold Palmer and 7th at the Players. He's going to a course where he won before. Like
925, 920 top 25s too.
That's insane.
It's
so
crazy.
Basically, if he starts, he's getting a top 25. So I definitely got him in there at. You want to hear where his cuts were too? So for the 2021 season, his cut was the U.S. Open. His cut was the Corales Puntacana, which is kind of funny. Not last week, but when they played it in September. And then he got cut from the Genesis. But besides that, he has made every single tournament. He has 5 top 10s, 9 top 25s. Dude's having a great year. Third up at 8,500. I swear to God, if we have the same guy here. No, we don't.
I don't know.
Zach Johnson.
No. I didn't take
Yeah.
ZJ.
Hey.
No.
Oh, the man who just refuses to miss the cut. 12 out of 12 this year, 3 top 10s, playing very, very well. Really happy for him. And I'm a big Zach Johnson guy, even though I'm not from Iowa. I can relate to him just because he is just kind of a dude that just kind of goes and kind of goes with it. So good guy. Love him. Fourth up, Adam Hadwin, $8,300. Doing pretty well this year. 1 top 10, but he's only missed 4 cuts, so we should be okay. My fifth guy here is the big man himself, Harry Higgs. It's not just because we look like each other, because we do look like each other a little bit, but he's been having a pretty solid year so far. I mean, back to back made cuts, 19th at the Honda, which is great for him, and 29th at the Players. I don't think anyone really expected him to do well at the Players this year, and he did great. And obviously, he had that second place at the Safeway earlier this year. And finally, my last pick, Kevin Chappell, $6,900, making his way back. So he missed most of last year. He didn't have a good year in 2019 or 2020, but he has won this event before. So when you get a guy who's won the event, you're going somewhere. Just saying. It doesn't have to be, there's never really back-to-back champs, but he has won the event before. He'll be in the play. I think he's going to do great.
Well done. Timmy.
Thank you, sir.
Timmy, you take this one away.
All right. So first two, we already discussed why and where Brendan and I had the first 2 same picks, which were Corey Connors and Abraham. Need no explanation because we just explained it before. All right. So my next pick is Charlie Hoffman. Now, Charlie Hoffman, I feel like I always got to pick an old guy, but the reason for Charlie Hoffman is because he is this tournament's all-time winningest player. So he has the most all-time winnings at this tournament. He's 10 for 10, 10 for 10 making cuts, and he won back in 2016. So he wasn't that much quiche. So value pick, Charlie Hoffman. And he's always, I feel like he's every other year he's in contention at the Masters up until day 4, which the Masters has nothing to do with this, but he's always comes hot come springtime. Next one, Patton Kazire. He I'll come back to him. Graham McDowell, the ultimate value pick, $6,700, finished T4th at the Corales. So, I mean, I wouldn't say that's an outstanding thing, but so he's playing well right now. Another old guy, but he finished T7 at the last time this was played. So he finished T7 in 2019. So apparently he doesn't mind the course. We'll go with that. And then Sam Ryder. I picked him because he T2 last week at the Corales. And then he's top 20 in GIRs. So you have to hit fairways and you have to hit GIRs at this course because the rough is brutal and the greens are small. And so Sam Ryder is there. And then Pat Kazire, because no real reason, but because he was the best bang for my buck with what I had remaining. So Pat Kazire have been playing well, decently over the past couple months. And so those are my 6. I'll stick to them. Good luck.
That's a good picks right there. Wow. Mikey.
All righty.
Always last but not least. What do you think, bud?
I mean, you take a look at my last week's picks, not one advanced. If you take a look at my March Madness bracket, I guarantee you whoever's playing right now is I don't have them advancing. My picks as of late have been poor, but we'll try and get back off that downer of a horse there and revive ourselves this week. So rounding out the bottom of my list, I'm going to go Pat Perez. He's gonna carry on. I think he's got some house money to play with and feeling good. I feel good there. Jonathan Vegas, I'm a fan. I think he is steady Eddie. I think he can kind of put some good weekends together. I just hope he makes the cut and holds the fort down. Not expecting too much there, but I am a fan. As we proceed, I'm going Ricky Fowler. You know,
right.
I am taking
BDR.
I am taking Ricky, and I am
he's got a lot to gain.
Thinking that he's going to take his BDR and stick it right in Faldo's face and go out this weekend and put something together. So I think he's made of. I think his inner fibers. I think Ricky has it. I think he's obviously won. He's a good golfer. Let's put it together this week. Ricky Fowler. Tim, love the Hoffman pick. I'm way in. I feel like
very good pick.
I feel like whenever I'm just watching like your average Joe golf tournament, like Hoffman is in the mix. Like if it's a major weekend, sorry, Charlie, I ain't picking you. But he finds ways to find the tops of leaderboards in these PJ events. He's a good golfer. He wears his shades when he strikes the ball. He's got some good hair.
He looks like a thumb.
I like what I see out of Charlie. And then
he looks like a thumb. Charlie Hoffman. He looks like a thumb.
At the top, I'm going Spieth. Give me some magic, Jordan. Give me some of that mojo. Get into gear for the Masters, and let's put together some good mojo so that we can stroll into Augusta and redeem those inner demons that Brendan so frequently talks about.
Oh, come on. I mean, I do. Like, let's be real. I 100% do. But I have a reason for it. Like, it's not my fault. He just kind of, buckles in Masters. Like, it's, he won two, and ever since then he just can't win one. But it's okay. We still love him. He did pretty well. He got out of the group stage at the Dell match play. So, I mean, he's having a good year for himself right now. So it wouldn't surprise me if he does well here. And he's won the Texas Open before. So I think he's won the Texas Open. He may have won the Houston Open. That's okay, though. Great picks, guys. Fantastic picks. Now we get to final segment. My favorite segment. Everyone's favorite segment. We've got the Chooch Golfer Poll. So, Timmy, take it away.
All right. So next week there could be a part 2 to this, but I'm going to start out with this one. Here we go. Which is harder? Which is worse? Which is worse? Playing, here we go. Playing TPC Sawgrass, hole 1 through 16, and you can't do 17, 18, or playing St. Andrews and not playing 17 and 18.
Pick your poison.
So
the answer is St. Andrews, but that's
which is worse?
Which is worse? I mean, what is a course that you've always dreamt of playing? Like, so for those of you who don't know, TPC Sawgrass is 17, 18 is the Island Green. You would not play the Island Green, and you would not play the dog leg left around the water, the par 4 version of Pebble
Brutal
Beach.
Hole.
I don't have to play those 2 holes. Great.
You don't play one of the most iconic par 3s in the world. But if you don't, St. Andrews, if you don't play 17 and 18, you are not playing the rolled hole, and you're not playing the hole with the Valley of Sin, and you're not playing, going into the town of St. Andrews with the big clock building and everything like that. So, and you're not crossing that Arnold Palmer Bridge. So which is worse?
I want to finish at St. Andrews more than I want to finish at TPC Sawgrass.
100%. Home of golf, most famous golf course in the world. And it's always been like, I mean, it's always been dream of mine to play that. Like, that is probably like, I mean, I know we talked about like the golf course of would you rather play Augusta National or Pine Valley last week? Like, I thought that was an easy answer for me. You put Augusta versus St. Andrews. That for me is very difficult, and I don't know if I could answer it. I'm a big St. Andrews guy. I've always wanted to play there. Hopefully one day I will, but if I play 1 through 16 at St. Andrews, like you would have to forcefully take me off that course in order to not be able to play the road hole and hit it right into that goddamn hotel.
And Sawgrass, if you said you could play 18, all 18, or you could play 16, I think I'm taking 16. like I'm totally okay with not. I'm totally okay with not having to take out a wedge to hit onto that island green. Like, I mean, that intimidates the shit out of me.
Who would have thought? Two Americans so far, 2 for 2 on that side of taking St. Andrews, going across the pond. What happens here? Timmy, give us your answer.
I think it goes to show you that we have an understanding and an appreciation for the game and the history and the origination of golf, and we understand that it came from somewhere other than the U.S. and we appreciate that. And I know I oftentimes envy like the Rory McIlroys and those guys who get to play on that like disgustingly wet and damp and cold and not enjoyable golf courses with not enjoyable golf courses, but not enjoyable weather. And they grind out, and then they come over here when it's the money's big and the conditions are pristine and they're in not shorts, but you know what I mean. But yeah, we love golf here, and we have an appreciation for its grassroots.
It's we do the home of golf. You got to play the finishing holes at the Road of Golf. So now this is interesting because this was going to be next week's question, but we got to do this while we're on the hot subject.
No, don't do it. We
can have another one next week.
Fine. Oh,
I know you're gonna ask about Augusta National, and I'm like, I'm not ready for this right now.
All right.
Save it for next week because that's gonna be that might be like we may have to do an entire podcast just on that. Like literally just open up. All right, golfer poll, go.
All right. All right, good job, boys.
We can go for days too on.
We can go for days on that one. So, sorry, Michael. Go right ahead.
No. You take it away. You take it home.
All right, and we'll take it home then, guys. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure. Number 4 in the books of the new season, season 2, episode 4. We're back. Just gonna go ahead, guys. Thank you so much. If you are listening to this and you want to reach out to us, follow us on our social medias. You can follow me, which is the main Duffin Up pages at Duffin Up blog on both Instagram and Twitter, at Duffin_up on TikTok, which is hilarious. And I love our TikTok followers. So if you guys are listening, thank you so much. Timmy, where can they find you?
Oh, we can find Ed Chooch Golf on TikTok. And everyone, I have homework for everyone listening. Get out there and swing a golf club, hit a golf ball. Let's play. Next time you listen to us, I want to, email us, text us. I don't know. You guys don't have our number. What am I saying? So contact us. Tell us how you did. Tell us a golfer poll question that you want to be here. Tell us you're listening. That's it. Have a great week. Play better.
Play better. Hold everything.
Wonderful. Get on out there, guys. It's just going to go ahead and let it fly. So thanks everyone for listening. We really appreciate it. Again, talk to you soon.